When it comes to being an airsoft content creator, there's a lot of really cool things that come with it. And where I do have the luxury of meeting a lot of really cool people and also talking to a lot of really awesome companies, sometimes something that can get totally overlooked is how talented some of my viewers are. And due to the popular rise in computer-aided design and 3D printing, some of you are now capable of designing some of the craziest things I've ever gotten to lay my eyes on. And it really allows me to see just how talented some of you truly are. This is from one of my viewers. Yes, my viewers reached out to me and asked if I'd like to check out some of his creations. And I undoubtedly said yes. Everything we have laid out here on the table is from a creator known as Golden Fox. You can find all of his stuff available on Colts 3D. And he mentioned to me that he's not only offering the files, but plans to potentially in the future also offer hardware packages and pre-made models, which is really cool for people who don't have the area or space for a 3D printer. And speaking of me, my 3D printer is currently down. There's a couple of you who have sent me some really cool files that you'd like me to check out, but I can't print at the moment because I have nowhere to vent all of the fumes. So I'm always open to checking out your stuff. I'm sorry, I'm at a hold. But he sent me all of this stuff printed himself. At first glance, everything is printed extremely nice in a material that I am physically not capable of printing. This is PETG carbon fiber, and it looks gnarly. Just so clean, and it's even nice, like textured to the touch, and the layer lines are unbelievably small. You almost can't even see them in some areas. Also really cool, I think this comes from my neighbors from the north. I had gotten the package and it said you're located in Canada, which is really cool. I'm not going to share your actual name because I don't know if you want me to. But again, he goes by the name of Golden Fox. And there's a handful of things that are on the table that we get to check out. These aren't all just for one thing. I know this is a combination of AEP parts and High-capa parts. And he said that he sent me MP5 and ARP9 lowers for the AAP01. And I can already tell this is High-capa. These are AAP01. And just from a glance, I think this is the HPA ARP9 lower, I think. And then I assume just because this magwell is a little bit smaller and tighter, this is probably the MP5 lower. These grips are really nice. So basically how this is all going to work is it's going to run AEG mags and feed through a feed ramp up to where the BBs would regularly feed out of your green gas mags for your AAPO1s. And then you're going to keep the gas router so you can run an AAPO1 mag with a HPA adapter, which is really cool. This is going to be the High-capa lower, and I believe this is, I think this is MP5 as well. Could be totally wrong. Maybe it's ARP9. That's really cool. And then we've got like a bunch of different uppers and stuff. So this is an upper, like the upper receiver. I think the AAPL1 will just go on the inside of this. And then we've got a couple different charging handles and whatnot in here. He sent a ton of things. He sent a bunch of rail pieces. I'm assuming some of these are... Okay, so this is an AAPO1. These are both AAPO1 fronts. But these already come with it. I guess he sent me some extras just in case like anything breaks or anything like that, because they are prints, but I assume they're going to be pretty strong because they are carbon fiber. This should be... Is this for the AAPs? Oh, yeah. All right, so this is... he mentioned his PCC kit, so it'll turn it into like a small little carbine. I think this will go on the front of the AAP. Yeah, I'm going to kind of mess around with all of these things, and I'll try and create as many different variants and creations that I can, and then we'll just like showcase them and test them. I feel like that's probably the best bet here. First replica, or I guess body kit on the list, is the PCC, and there's a couple things that I want to introduce you to about this thing that aren't necessarily prevalent with other AAPO1 carbine kits. You may be under the impression that this is just like every other AAPO1 carbine kit on the market. Yeah, sure, maybe, but there's a couple things that make this one special and I really appreciate. Specifically on a majority of the locations where we use screws or bolts to hold anything in place, instead of using nuts to screw them into, there are actually heat-treated metal inserts that make it super sleek, super clean, and decrease the likelihood of you losing parts and having to carry more parts when taking apart and rebuilding this thing. When it comes to the engineering, it's truly impressive because there's a lot of things that are hidden behind its simplistic looking design. You see, everything bolts down into 2 or more parts, and that's why it's so structurally sound, but it also can make it really hard to take apart if you want to, because you have to start disassembling everything. And you cannot split the lower and upper anymore without taking more pieces down, which isn't a big deal, but it becomes a slight difficulty when you're trying to lubricate it, clean it, and maintain it. You got a magwell flare, a grip extension that connects into the stock attachment. It bolts down into the small insert in the back of the grip, and they connect together both as one, so this isn't coming apart, this isn't coming apart. This extension point connects into the stock adapter, and the stock adapter has a housing and a small insert that connects up into the upper receiver, where your rear sight connects up into, and then bolts into the back of the stock. So this is just like one solid mass, and then goes even further to connect with the rail piece that notches into the, I guess, like mock barrel casing, and then another casing that goes over it, and all 3 of these are bolted down by this mount. So there's just so many things that are connecting into this, and then of course he included a charging handle, which is ambidextrous, by the way. And one thing that I did notice, which can be a slight flaw, depending on what you have, if you have a stock hop-up unit or like one of the next speed hops, it's not going to be a problem because you can adjust this from here. But if you have something like the Action Army rotary hop, you will not be able to dial it or adjust it as soon as this case is put together. So that's just something to keep in mind. Another thing for the adjustment of your fire selector switch, it'd be cool if there's a small notch down here, but there's not. So you may have to get like a tool or an Allen key in order to switch that back and forth. Again, not a big deal. I'll be running it in semi anyway. You can throw any stock that connects to the rail on this if you'd like. Any scopes and optics you'd like on the top. 4 grips, mounts, flashlights on the base. And then, of course, we got a nice little magwell flare to make it a little bit easier when indexing mags. Now, everything should function as necessary. We're going to be able to keep all of our adjustable triggers. You should be able to put extensions on your bolt releases. Your mag release is still accessible. And I don't have a safety in here, but you can put a safety in there if you please. Let's shoot her. Bolt locks back. I mean, it's beautifully done, and honestly, you throw a couple things on this, this turns into like a small little like MP7 we have at home. Ooh, there we go. I actually really like this. I have a friend that is probably going to go nuts over this. This is like right up his alley. I'm a big fan. And again, you don't need any sort of power system. You can run drum mags, extended mags, any standard gas blowback G mag should do. This is a weird mag. I think this is one of the average mags. Yeah, I don't think this one's going to work. Sometimes these give me a little bit of a problem. Oh, that's why. There's no gas in there. Take a look at this. First of all, it looks awesome. You can use custom grip paneling. I believe these are just 1911 spec grip panels. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you could just use like 1911 grip panels. And this is your MP5 HPA adapter lower. All we did was we took the hammer, the trigger bar, and the spring and installed it into the lower, plus like the little takedown and the takedown spring. And everything else is run off of a magwell that takes your AEG MP5 mags and it runs it through a small chamber up to the left and then to where your feed lips would be. Now, what do you do with the mag? Well, it's pretty simple. The mag is just now has a gas router that's been removed, and we replaced it with an HPA adapter. He also includes a small little like magwell flare, which looks beautiful. We take the spring, the follower, and the feed lips off. We put one of his 3D printed mounts on the top to hold the gas router in place. And now it's going to run gas power without the necessity of the BB feeding. And the BBs will come from the mag up in the front, which is really, really cool. Now, what's awesome about this is not only do you have the like AK lever, but you also have the index finger mag release, which is really cool. So I'll show you the insert. This is just our AEG mid-cap MP5 mag. It indexes. It's rock solid in place. If we pop it out, or if we want, we can use the index finger to pop it out also. Is that not super cool? So cool. Now the upper is fascinating as well. All this does is it houses the AEP 01 upper. We threw on the same charging handle we had before, and it comes equipped with 3 parts. You've got the stock adapter, which I threw on the rail stock adapter because this is the one that I have lying around. But he also includes another option, which is a tube stock adapter. In case, by chance, of course, you have an AEG tube stock that you want to throw on here, you can. So depending on what you have lying around, I just don't have one, so I threw on the rail because I have a rail stock that we're going to throw on here just to showcase in a minute. But that's really cool. And again, with everything being so locked up and solid, you kind of have to take certain things apart in order to remount it. So I'm going to have to take the handguard off in order to get the lower on. But the handguard too, which is really cool, it comes with a bunch of different M-lock on the bottom and a full rail up on the top. But in case you don't like the length of this, he includes a shorter one. And then, in case you don't like the length of that, there's another one, a little shorter, and it's got some different builds too. It's got some rail on the bottom on this one and rail on the sides. This one's got M-lock on the sides, but rail on the bottom and rail on the top with like circled patterns for coolant instead of these like M-lock patterns for coolant, which is really cool. I went a little longer because I'm going to try and jam a shush can in the center of this. So something that I hadn't noticed originally when setting this up is the longer upper doesn't work with the MP5 adapter, as I was just kind of diddling around with it. However, this one with the flat edge works just fine. So we're going to run on something a little bit shorter. And I feel like that almost kind of fits character pretty well. Oh, and by the way, the space is perfect to throw on a can. So it looks like this tiny little honey badger. I don't know how else to tell you this, but if you're someone who appreciates ingenuity or is at all savvy at computer-aided design, I would highly recommend you check out these files due to just how incredible it is to put together. All right, so what we're gonna do is start the hammer back just to reduce wear on internal parts. We'll get the new HPA tapped mag on in place. Should be able to connect our line, and we're set up at 80 PSI now. So hopefully it runs just fine on that. And I don't see why it wouldn't. Our AEG MP5 mag loaded with BBs. And then let's just feed one and see how she plays. 3, 2, oh, that thing's so funky. It's so cool. 1. Oh. No? Huh. The BBs seem to be getting... Oh, I think the mag was not indexed all the way. There we go. That is awesome. 80 PSI, it's got like a very low kick. I should be able to run it at a higher PSI just because I do have the enhanced steel hammer setup from TTI in here. Those random flyers you're seeing are because they're hitting the end of the can. I just don't have the hop-up set to fit the end of the can, so I wouldn't be surprised if some start getting stuck on the inside of here. I have it set for the AAPO1, not for the length of distance. It's just, I guess I'm over-hopping or something. That is so, so cool. And again, you can index it, or I guess extract it with this finger button, or with the thumb like the AK. Imagine you could do like an the AK eject too if you wanted. And then you could mod the crud out of an AAPO1. You could throw inner barrels on here that go to the end of this. You can throw any hop units you want, any hop rubbers. Oh. We're all out of BBs. And you also have an extremely high mag capacity with the AEG MP5s. Next here, I'm installing the High-capa kit, which is really cool. And again, much like the AAPO1, it is literally just a drop-in fit. You just take some of the internal parts out. You can keep the entire receiver piece and just drop it directly into the printed housing. Now, you see, for the last one, I really want to showcase this for you, but unfortunately, I'm having a couple issues. When Golden Fox and I had reached, or I guess when Golden Fox reached out to me and asked if I wanted to check out a couple things that he had. Now, going on to the last project, this is the High-capa HPA MP5 adapter lower, which is really cool. And when he had reached out to me originally, I didn't have an High-capa that I was able to throw this on. Specifically, I only had the Extreme 45, and I was worried that there was going to be an issue, but he said he wanted to send it anyway in case I wanted to check it out, and I figured why not try my best. Now, first of all, this is what it looks like. I'll get the upper on. It looks awesome, and then you can throw the pin in place, I won't be able to shoot it for you, and I'm going to explain to you why. It is absolutely awesome, and with the Extreme 45, this thing would be a blast, I'm sure. The issue that I'm having is my mag. Now, crazy enough, I was kind of messing around with it, trying to figure out the problem here, and I realized very early on what the issue is. So I don't have any Tokyo Marui spec mags. These are the Novrich ones, and the Novrich ones, the opening for the BBs is too low. So let me show you what I mean, right? So we take this guy down. The engineering here is super cool how it works. So I don't know if you could see it, but you see that small little hole down in the base right under the mag catch? See that hole? So basically how it works is that hole runs up and under the trigger guard, up here into a ramp at the top, and then down into the spot where the MP5 mag, wherever I put the MP5 mag, would index. So whenever you put it in, the BBs will load from there. You take down your mag, right? You throw the rebuild kit on it, you take out the spring guide, you take out the follower, the spring and everything, and you throw these small little inserts up into the mag, and it would rise all the way up just under where the mag catch latch is, therefore leaving the spot for those BBs to pour out of that hole and feed up into the feed lips, the standard feed lips and gas router that you're already running with the HPA tapped mag, like the previous AAP01. The issue with the Novrich ones are the spot where that opening is too low. So if you don't have the Tokyo Marui or Tokyo Marui spec mags, the adapter just won't work, unfortunately. Oh, another thing, I thought I could just file it down. These come with two prong sides, like two wings, that regular TMs have the two wing openings. These ones only have the one. So you can see it gets stuck here. There's an opening here. So I filed it down. I thought it'd be okay, but that was just a small little hiccup. But all in all, if I set it up, this is kind of what it would look like. Let me just get the latch. It's really genius how it all works. Cool. And then with the mag in place, it'll keep the BBs from spewing out. But that's how it would look. Is that not cursed as can possibly be? So, so cool. And then again, like I said, a couple of BBs are going to fly out here. It does stop a majority of them from flying out. But if I can't take it down like this. Cool. Oh, the mag is in place. I'm going to try and show you if I hold it here and then I shine a light, you should be able to see the BBs coming out. Oh, there they go, falling out. Right out of that hole. Does that make sense now? All in all, Golden Fox, really well done. I didn't install the ARP9 one on the AAP01 because it's basically the same exact thing except it runs ARP9 mags and it doesn't have the multi mag release. It's just a single lever action mag release. And you can, he's got a ton of different files where they don't have stippling, they do have stippling. I mean, you name it, there are just so many different modifications here. It is so cool. So cool. I really appreciate you sending it out, dude. These are really awesome. Again, if anyone wants to check out some of his stuff, Colts 3D, Golden Fox, these are beautifully done, beautifully made, and I really hope he does get to a point where he can start offering like pre-mades, because with the carbon fiber prints, these are just beautiful. Just beautiful. And you can see I had to tear down the AAP01 because I only have one that I'm like messing around with, so I got to uninstall one, set it up on the other one. I got a couple different lowers, but not enough uppers. Awesome. Cool. And yeah, if you guys ever want to have me check out some of your products and things that you guys have created, some of you are geniuses and I would love to. Just right now my printer is down, so I can't print anything. So you'd have to supply the prints themselves, but I would love to showcase them on the channel. I think everybody deserves more recognition on all the really cool things you guys are making. Golden Fox, great job. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.